All right, today we are going to be making this year's hoodie towels for my 3 kids, Titus, Micah, and Clara. And these are our new color schemes. Our old hoodie towels are looking a little bit worn and they've been patched together a few times. And so we are going to make some new ones. So the supplies that you will use are a regular bath towel, a hand towel, not the washcloth kind, but the longer kind, and some scraps of different materials that might coordinate. I brought out some purples, some old burp cloths, and even baby blankets, as well as other scraps just to see what I'm going to use. I used some regular washcloths to make these ones last time, and I'm just going to experiment this time. All right, so the first thing that I do is figure out the hood part of it. And so I'm going to be making this for my almost 2-year-old toddler, and she wanted a dog. But last time I made it, I did not do an animal, and I used kind of the bottom part of the towel up top for decoration. You don't have to use that part. And so this time around, I'm going to make it a little bit taller. This one is about 5 inches from the top of the hood to where I stitched it into the towel. And this time I'm going to use about 6.5 inches. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to, whatever side you want out, you will put on the inside, and sew kind of the corners up here and have a rounded look. Some people like to leave it square and take it in as needed. I usually just use the full width of it, of the hand towel. Before I start sewing, I am going to switch my regular needle out for a heavy-duty needle. What I have found is that when sewing through the towel fabric, it's pretty thick, especially if there is designs on it with other layers of fabric. And so I just use the Singer heavy-duty needles so that it can go through there a little easier. All right, I am preparing to stitch a spot on before I actually form the hood, and so I'm going to put the face on, and then I'm going to turn it inside out and sew the ears on with it. I'm going to switch to an embroidery stitch. You can use a zigzag stitch as well, with a very tight setting. Oh, not that one. Right here, this one, 23. And then I'm going to adjust it to be a little bit shorter. And 5 is probably good. All right, when it is done, it should look something like this. I use 3 pins to hold mine down. It's a little bit wobbly, but that's okay. I don't mind, and my girl is not going to mind. And then you do the same thing for all of your other pieces, and you get them formatted in whatever way you want them to be. And something also to note, just make sure that you're using, you have a lot of thread, because using the embroidery stitch, it does, especially if they're close together, which mine needed to be because I wasn't going to tuck it under, you need to use a lot of thread. And so just make sure you have an abundance on hand. So the next step is going to be to put the eyes and the nose on. I liked using iron-on mending fabric for that, and then I would, you can see here, I still did the embroidery stitch around it because I felt like it would fall off a little bit, especially on this particular material that had different ribs and layers, rows, thicknesses and things. And so I'm gonna do that next. I'm gonna put the eyes and the nose on. I also decided that I am going to use the sleeves of this onesie, which was too small, and I just cut off the ends of the sleeves in order to make ears. And so I'm going to sew those up and turn them inside out, and then I will show you how to apply them to the hood when you sew the top of it together. All right, well, we have finished ironing on, embroidery stitching around the eyes and nose. I did a stitch inside out on the cuffs or the ends of the sleeves of the onesie, and then turned them inside out, and they made nice looking little dog ears. And so the next step is to finish the hood by doing a curved stitch kind of around you. If you want the boxy corner, then you could do it that way as well. And we're going to tuck the ears, if you can see on this one. And we want the ears to stick out like this. And so we're going to tuck them on the inside where we would like them. So I'm going to actually trim out the shape that I want and then pin the ears to the inside. And I'll show you what that looks like. All right, so here I have cut around the edges, and I have tucked the ears in so that they will show when I finish sewing around the dog face, and that's what we're about to do. All right, I did not mention this before, but when I sew the hood and when I attach it to the body part of the towel, I do a double zigzag stitch, meaning I zigzag stitch down and then I turn around and come back. I'll also go over the very end of it, back and forth a few times, and then I come back up around. That way I make sure that it is nice and tight. And there is the dog hoodie towel head, and now we're gonna do the body. To do the body, I am just going to cut off a section right here. I'm gonna leave a little bit extra as I attach it because I'll need that width to attach it to, but other than that, it's a pretty straightforward step. So I folded the big towel in half and found its center, and I folded my hood in half and found its center, and I'm going to put these on. Now this is a preference thing. For last year's towels, I just sewed them together so that the stitching was on the inside. I feel like it's a preference thing. Some people want to have this nice part on the outside or the other part on the inside. It's up to you which way you do it, and then make sure you do a double zigzag stitch. We'll see what this turns out to be in a second. All right, so I did the zigzag stitch twice over, and I decided to go with putting the raw edge on top here and then leaving this one because it was kind of finished looking and I like the look of it. And so there you have it, this year's dog hoodie towel, and hopefully my daughter likes it.